Welcome my favorite students of Kamari High School, my well-wishers and my valuable viewers, and also the students of other schools of West Bengal. Today I am here for the students of class 9 and 10, and for them I am going to present an important answer. And today's topic is writing a story. I'm going to tell some sentences on how you can write a story. And I have brought with me an example of a story. You, the students of class 9 and 10, you have to write stories in the examination. And keeping in mind your necessity, I'm going to make this video for you. Now let me start. Writing a story is an interesting attempt of English composition. Stories are of different kinds, and the beginners are well aware that there are fables, there are parables, and there are also stories of war, stories of benevolence, and stories in our practical life, stories centering on an incident that happens in our society. So the theme and subject matter of a story can vary. But students of class 9 and 10, they have to write stories usually with a moral, and that's why these stories are usually moral stories, the stories from which we gain a lesson, we gain a knowledge. And stories are usually written in the past tense, in the simple past tense. And while writing a story, usually we give some direct speeches. Unless direct speeches are added or used, a story remains a rigid one. It looks like a prose piece, a paragraph, or an essay. So the students have to keep in mind these 2 points. One, you have to write the story in the simple past tense, and you have to add and introduce direct speeches. And direct speeches may contain any tense or verbs. Today's story is the story of a wife of a dead soldier. Now let me start. Once a brave soldier died in a war front, and it was a sad news for his relatives and also for the countrymen, because a soldier, when dies in the war front, gets the honor of a martyr. And this soldier who died in the war front also got the honor of a martyr. But the loss incurred after the death of this great warrior, this soldier, was great in his family. The loss directly touched the family of this dead soldier, and usually his dead body was brought home, and a weather, an environment of sadness took over his home. His relatives gathered, the women folk gathered, but the most shocked one was the wife of this dead soldier. Every kith and kin present there before the dead body of the warrior was crying. It was usual, but the striking and surprising fact was that the wife was not crying. She was shocked so greatly that this shock numbed her, mined her. She could not express her grief by crying, and this happens. And this is an indication of a bad future of anybody who does not cry, being shocked for the death of his or her near and dear one. And as the lady, means the wife, was not crying, everybody was in great anxiety. And the women folk standing there, the women folk present there, were also in great anxiety. Everyone was trying to make the shocked wife cry. Somebody was telling, your husband was a brave person, brave soldier. He laid down his life for the sake of his country. He was a patriot, he was a martyr. Don't worry, it happens. His soul will be in heaven. But these words did not leave any effect on the shocked wife. She remained still and silent. Other ladies present there tried to make her cry by uncovering the face of the dead soldier. This also did not come into effect, and the lady remained as usual, silent and still. And this increased the gloom and the gloomy condition environment, the grave environment of the home. and everybody present there was thinking about the way how to make the lady cry, but nobody could succeed. Suddenly, a very old lady came out from the crowd and she placed the child of the dead warrior in the lap of the shocked wife. And no sooner had she placed the child on the mother's lap, the shocked wife started to cry. She burst into intense cry. And crying, she told, "I have to live for you. Your father loved you so much. He had immense dream for you. And I have to grow you up in such a way so that you can be also like your father." These words came out from the mouth of the shocked wife. She was continuously crying, and all the persons, all the ladies present there relieved. They got a relief because this crying of the lady indicated that she came into a state of normalcy and her future will not be in hazard. She will gradually adjust with the shock she has got. And thus, the grave environment, the environment full of anxiety was cleared, and they consoled the lady, and after that they went home. This is the story, and from this story we can come into conclusion and decision, and we get a moral lesson that an association is needed to a grieving and shocked lady or a shocked person to make her cry. An exact association is needed to make somebody who is very shocked after the demise and death of his or her near and dear one is needed. So let me call it a day.